Listen, if you've been watching the Cowboys backfield the last few weeks, you probably felt what I felt. A little intrigued, but also a little worried. Brian Schottenheimer didn't sugarcoat it in his latest press conference. He said the backup running back job is a battle to watch, and he made it clear that consistency and doing the little things matter more than highlight plays right now. That line matters because when your head coach uses language like that, it's a signal to the whole locker room. Performance has to match potential. Jaden Blue is the rookie who's been flashing speed and juice in short bursts, and he's also been the guy who's shown some rookie mistakes. Things like inconsistent reads and a ball security hiccup or two that the staff noticed on tape. That combo is the exact reason Schottenheimer publicly reminded everyone that the job isn't locked up. When your coach says you've got to do certain things at a higher level, that's not a compliment. It's a coaching red flag saying, clean it up or someone else will. And because this is Dallas, where every mistake becomes a headline, the spotlight on Blue got brighter fast. The other piece of the puzzle is Malik Davis, a veteran who doesn't make flashy plays as often, but he checks a lot of boxes coaches love. Dependable between the tackles, understands pass protection responsibilities, and gives you special teams value. Schottenheimer name-checked Davis in the same breath he talked about competition, which tells you how seriously they're treating this as an open fight for meaningful snaps. Bottom line for today, this isn't about writing off Blue. The upside is real. But it's also not about handing him a starting script and hoping for the best. The Cowboys need reliability behind Javonte Williams, and right now the staff is trying to figure out which player gives them consistent, low-risk production on early downs and in pass protection. That's the theme you'll keep hearing from me over the next chapters. Potential versus proof. Before we dig into Blue's tape and what Malik brings to the table, let me ask you this. Quick one for the comments. Do you keep Jaden Blue getting the majority of backup snaps? Or do you push Malik Davis into more work? Type A for Blue, B for Davis. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. We're gunning for 16,000, and I need you on this ride. Smash that like button if you want these breakdowns every time the depth chart heats up. Jaden Blue is one of those players who can make you shake your head and smile in the same drive. On one snap, he hits the crease with legit burst, slips through contact, and looks like a future playmaker. Then, 2 plays later, he might overrun a read or miss a protection call that turns a promising drive into a reminder that this is still a rookie learning life in the NFL. That's exactly the duality Brian Schottenheimer was hinting at when he talked about the battle behind Javonte Williams. It wasn't criticism for the sake of noise. It was a teaching moment delivered publicly. The message, show me consistency and I'll show you carries. Blue came out of Texas with a reputation for being a versatile back, patient enough to read zone concepts, but explosive enough to bounce outside and punish angles. The Cowboys liked his speed and his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, but they also knew he needed time. That's the trade-off with rookies at this position. You want the upside, but every mistake in pass protection can cost you a drive, or worse, your quarterback's ribs. And in Dallas, with how much this offense depends on rhythm and timing, a single blown assignment can stick out like a sore thumb. When Schottenheimer referenced the little things, insiders say he meant those fundamental details. Where your eyes are pre-snap, how you identify blitz pressure, how quickly you reset your pads when a play breaks down. Coaches love Blue's talent. They just need to trust that when he's in the game, the operation won't stall. One thing that helps his case, though, is energy. Teammates have said he runs angry, and he's got that spark that can lift the sideline. That's valuable in a locker room where the offense needs new juice after a slow stretch early in the season. Still, every rep counts. The Cowboys' running backs coach has been working closely with Blue on reading inside out and keeping his base balanced when contact comes. Early, you can see the flashes of improvement. Less hesitation hitting the hole, tighter control of the ball, and more discipline in pass routes. The coaches notice that, but they also grade every practice, every scrimmage, and every preseason snap. If Blue's chart looks more green than red, his workload will climb. If not, Malik Davis is waiting. Here's where I want you to jump in. On a scale from 1 to 10, how confident are you in Jaden Blue's long-term future in Dallas? Drop your number in the comments. 1 means not buying it yet. 10 means future starter. I'll read through the responses before we record the next update. And hey, if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. We're trying to reach that 16,000 mark, and every fan who joins helps push Cowboys Nation louder in the algorithm. Now let's talk about the rest of the backfield, because this isn't just the Jaden Blue show. Javonte Williams is clearly the centerpiece, the veteran tone setter who brings toughness and downhill power that Dallas has been craving since the Ezekiel Elliott days. The Cowboys brought him in not just to move the chains, but to set a physical identity. He's that guy who can wear down a defense, and his presence changes how the offensive line attacks the run game. But behind him, that's where things get tricky. And that's why Schottenheimer's comments hit so hard. Javonte can handle the heavy workload, but Dallas needs a true complement, someone who can spell him, without the offense losing rhythm. That's where Malik Davis quietly keeps inserting himself into the picture. Malik doesn't jump off the stat sheet, but ask any coach in the building. They'll tell you he's the kind of player who makes life easier for everyone around him. He knows his assignments, he doesn't put the ball on the ground, and he's comfortable in pass protection. That last part is huge. In Schottenheimer's offense, running backs have to act like a sixth lineman on third down. If you can't pick up the blitz, you can't stay on the field. That's been the story of Malik's steady climb back into the mix. When Schottenheimer was asked about the backup competition, he mentioned Malik in the same sentence as Blue, and that wasn't by accident. It was his way of saying, don't sleep on the vet. There's trust there, and in a season where injuries and depth are always one snap away from becoming breaking news, trust matters more than flash. And speaking of depth, don't overlook how Williams' workload management could influence this rotation. If the Cowboys want to keep him fresh down the stretch, they'll need both Blue and Davis ready to handle real carries. The challenge is deciding which one gives you the best blend of spark and security. Coaches talk about the hot hand, but it's really about reliability. Who can they depend on in critical moments when the defense stacks the box and everyone knows it's a run? Now, I want to throw this to you. If you had to choose just one trait that defines the perfect RB2 for Dallas, what would it be? Is it A, pass protection, B, contact balance, or C, special teams value? Drop your letter in the comments so we can see what the fan base thinks matters most right now. And remember, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want to stay ahead of every roster update, hit that subscribe button. We're closing in on 16,000 subscribers, and your support is what keeps this channel growing every week. When you listen closely to Brian Schottenheimer, it's not just what he says, but how he says it. Every time he talks about the running back situation, he brings up words like trust, details, and execution. That gives away exactly how he sees the position. It's not just about raw talent. It's about fitting into a larger system that demands precision. And that system, as we've seen, is built on rhythm, timing, and control. Schottenheimer's offense thrives when the backs hit the right lanes, protect the quarterback, and keep the tempo steady. This is why you can't separate scheme from player evaluation here. Jaden Blue might have the flash, but in Schottenheimer's structure, one mental lapse in protection can ruin a drive. Malik Davis, on the other hand, might not be as explosive, but he knows the calls, trusts his keys, and rarely gets caught freelancing. That's a big deal for a coach who's spent years preaching discipline over dazzle. If you remember how he operated with the Seahawks and Jets, it's the same pattern. He prefers smart backs who can adapt on the fly. That's also why the Cowboys are keeping every option open. Depending on how the next few games unfold, we could see more rotation, maybe even packages designed to hide some of Blue's inexperience while still using his speed. Expect some motion looks, designed screens, and outside zone plays where Blue can work in space rather than being forced into heavy protection situations. If Dallas can scheme that balance, both backs could stay active without forcing a winner right away. Another wrinkle to watch is how the offensive line impacts these decisions. With some shifting up front, especially in the interior, Schottenheimer might lean on the more experienced back early in the season, just to keep the pocket clean and Dak comfortable. That gives Malik a real chance to build momentum if he continues to execute at a high level. But make no mistake, Blue's upside is still part of the plan. The Cowboys didn't bring him in just to stash him. They're developing him to be ready for that breakout stretch later in the year. The kind of rookie surge we've seen before when confidence finally meets consistency. So, here's my question for you. Do you think Schottenheimer's offense should adjust to Blue's style, or should Blue adjust to fit the system? Let me know down below. And if you're part of that Cowboys fan base that loves the X's and O's side of the game, make sure you're subscribed, because I'll be breaking down how this running back rotation could change depending on upcoming matchups. We're getting close to 16,000 subscribers, and every new voice in the comments makes these conversations better. All right, let's pull this all together. After hearing Schottenheimer's comments, watching the snaps, and reading between the lines, one thing is clear. This running back competition isn't just about who looks good in highlight clips. It's about who the coaches can trust when the game's on the line. Jaden Blue has the upside, the burst, and the excitement factor that makes fans lean forward in their seats. But Malik Davis has something the staff values even more right now: dependability. And in an offense that's trying to steady itself and build consistency, dependability often wins the day. Still, this story isn't written yet. We've seen rookies like Blue struggle early and then turn the corner once things slow down mentally. All it takes is one solid performance, one breakout run, or one perfect blitz. Pick up in a big moment, and suddenly the tone shifts. Coaches remember those flashes, and momentum can change fast in Dallas. The real takeaway is that both of these guys are fighting for meaningful roles, and that kind of internal competition can make the entire backfield stronger. Javonte Williams will get the spotlight, but having two hungry players pushing behind him keeps everyone sharp. If you've followed this team long enough, you know how unpredictable these depth battles can be. We've seen veterans get overtaken, rookies get humbled, and underdogs suddenly turn into fan favorites overnight. That's part of the fun. The story is still unfolding. My personal read? I think Malik Davis holds the early edge just because of his understanding of the system and the way Schottenheimer talks about him. But if Blue can match his effort with consistent execution, we might be looking at a genuine 1-2 punch by mid-season. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop your prediction below. Who wins the RB2 job long-term? Type blue if you think the rookie finds his rhythm, or Davis if you believe the vet keeps control of that role. And if you're watching this far, you're clearly part of the die-hard group that keeps Cowboys News TV going strong. So, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now and help us reach that 16,000 subscriber goal. Every like, every comment, every share helps this community grow and brings more fans into the conversation. That's it for today's breakdown, but keep your notifications on. I'll be tracking every update from the Cowboys locker room as this battle unfolds. Thanks for watching, thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Right here, where Cowboys talk never takes a day off.